Hello, we are here with another RUPL interview, this time with Ming549 from the Iron Fisters. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
So,
Yeah, hi. I am Ming549. Some of y'all might know me from the various other videos that have gone up on our YouTube, but yeah, a little bit of a change of pace. I'm sitting in the interviewee seat.
yeah,
Um,
how's it being on this side of the interview?
yeah, I mean, I have less things to worry about, less, moving parts with OBS or like, monitoring sound and stuff to check. So a little, less stress for me. So that's definitely appreciated.
That's good. Yeah, so let's get into the questions, shall we?
Yeah.
So, first things first, who would you say is the funniest player in your team chat?
Sure. There are, Iron Fisters. We have a lot of kind of strong personalities within that group. But in terms of funniest, I don't think it wasn't. I don't know if this is even a valid answer, but I don't think it was one of the people we drafted per se, but someone we brought on kind of to help with like, team building and looking at stuff, and that was I think Cole 49. Um, I don't know. I can't even tell you a specific instance of him being funny per se, but sometimes he'd just like come into the chat. He'd be like dropping funny one-liners and then kind of dipping out without anything else being said. But yeah, I mean, he was definitely one of the funnier personalities in the chat, I think.
So, overall, a pretty serious server.
Kind of, more or less. Um, kind of during the latter parts of the season, we were like really down. So there was a lot of like, go goof around, have to clutch up type mentality. Um, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think you would have performed better if it was a bit less serious?
Mm, I don't know. I think there are just different ways people approach kind of playing Mon. The way we took it kind of, just ended up being a little less, haha goofy and more so, okay, what can we do to kind of get in here, get the job done and then get out.
Fair
I don't think
enough.
that's like a bad thing per se, but
No,
you
not
know,
at all.
just different ways to approach it.
hmm So, do you have any pre-game rituals you stick to before your tour games?
Not particularly. I do I have music running generally when I like am playing a set. I haven't done that for the past few sets. Um, might explain why I haven't been winning so much. But you know, I kind of like to. It really does depend on like what my mood is that day. I'll try to find some song or like a playlist I have that kind of like fits my vibe, and then I'll put that on. Um, like the song that I like maybe before I hop into the set, and then and have that playing in the background. I find that kind of helps me focus. Uh, just having like it's white noise in the background, just so you can tune out the things around you, get locked into the game and stuff. Yeah, I'd say that's the only thing that's like I'd constitute as a pregame ritual.
Okay. So, of all the sets you've brought to your games in RUPL, which is your favorite?
Um, I've brought. I mean, you've seen the games that I play. I'll bring whatever I want whenever I want, basically.
Yes.
Um, there was a set. I think it was versus Frank Josh. I want to say I did end up losing that game, which was a tragedy. But I brought a Dragon Dance Scrafty because I wanted to bring a Dragon Dance Scrafty, and it actually put up a very strong performance. Had I gotten like maybe one or two plays like differently, or called them differently, gotten them right per se, then that mon would have just swept the game. Like I think there was a turn in front of a Slitherwing where it's like if instead of attacking it, I Terra ghosted and I had clicked Dragon Dance, then I think the game might have just been over. But yeah, just stuff like that. I think that Scrappy is very cool.
Okay. So, PU Mon.
Yeah, it's a scrappy. Listen, it's a good dark type.
Yeah,
More people
yeah.
should play around with it.
So, how have you been liking the current SV meta and its development?
I think Scarlet Violet's in a really interesting spot right now. So I really picked up the meta a lot back in February, and as you well remember, um, that was a very chaotic time for the tier, as well as like just mons in general. Considering the DLC I had just dropped, and we had gone through, well, we were in the process of going through all the like super wild DLC shits.
Yes.
Um, the meta has very much settled down since then. We've banned what I think are a lot of the major problematic elements in the tier, and what we have left, I'm kind of liking it. Uh, there are a couple things, depending on who you ask, are still problem elements in the tier. I know a lot of kind of the HO madness running around. People don't like how viable that is, but I really don't care. Um, it's just another play style. It's just like, balance or BO or something like that, where it's like, okay, you will have a play style that's good in meta, but it's not like it's overshadowing everything else, right?
Yeah,
Um,
like
I, I yeah.
like yeah, hyper offense haven't hasn't really reached that level of problematic.
So I think I like the meta how it is right now. We had a recent survey where I know a lot of people kind of expressed some unhappiness with some HO mons. Specifically, I'm looking at like Blastoise and I think was it Revavroom
Yes, the
that was
Revavroom was
rated
the other one in the
highly.
survey.
Yeah. So I mean that's a perfect example, right? Just people kind of being disenchanted with HO being as good as it is. Um, Conversely, we had things like slow burn stuff on that survey too, and people rated that honestly lower than I thought, lower than I rated too. I think the average was like a 5 or something out of 10. So I mean, I think that's like a statement by the community about how they kind of see the meta right now, in terms of what they think is problematic. But I like it. I think it's fine.
Yeah, sounds good. Do you feel like there was a lot of diversity in overall team structures?
Yeah, I mean for sure. I think especially since we banned some of the more like common, uh, well, yeah, a couple of the commoner HO guys like Thunderous Theory and Iron Leaves. HO itself as a playstyle has diversified a lot. Balance and bulky offense has always kind of been a little bit of a mixed bag. You can kind of field a lot of interesting things there. We've seen in our UPL even everything from I don't know, like Assault Vest Golurk has put in some big numbers to the Dragon Dance Crafty. So I think there's a lot of kind of diversity amongst what you can play right now.
Of course. So, what do you think your personal highlight game of the season was?
Uh, this might be. I think I would say the Scrafty game honestly, because it's like had the Scrafty turn gone right, had I Dragon Danced on the Slither Wing, I really think the Scrafty had a great chance of sweeping the game. But even beyond that, um, if I had to pick a game that I won, there was only the one game that I won, so it would have been the Fiend game. But that was kind of a little bit of a scuffed game. So he was traveling, and we kind of just decided to send it immediately, and ended up it was just a very funny game. I think he tried tricking or switcherooing a Crawdaunt with a Klefki, which happened to be Scarf, and then it you know died on impact because Darkness aren't affected by Prankster. That was very funny.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, for a game that I won, the Fiend game, but overall, I think that Scrafty game was very cool. That team also had like a Venusaur and stuff on it too, which is just very cool, interesting break.
Yeah. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out for help with your prep?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot, um, a lot. So I would like to shout out specifically, obviously, Master Chief, and then also Cyan. So those are the two people kind of on the team, along with me. I think that were the loudest voices regarding Scarlet Violet. We were always kind of like spitballing ideas, ping ponging sets and stuff, and just talking about like meta as it kind of unfolded before us. A lot of things happened during our UPL, like suspect wise, like banning wise. So whenever something like that came around, we would always like kind of talk about it. Uh, yeah, for Scarlet Violet, definitely them. Shout out Dunox. He had a fantastic season. Started off very strong with Sword and Shield. Maybe tapered off a little bit near the end, but he was kind of our flagship guy holding it down for us for the large majority of the season. So yeah, shout out to Dunox too. And yeah, both
Okay.
my managers, of course. Six, very cool. 3D, also very cool, but wasn't as active. I think that's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, because your team was the only one with no managers playing, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were the only team I think without a manager self buy.
Yep. So, final scripted question. What were your expectations coming into the season, and how do you think you lived up to them or not?
I don't know. I mean, I came in as one of the like 3K, the quote unquote like late 3K round, late 3K picks. Um, so every team once you like get through buying your big name guys, you kind of have some dudes you can use to fill out the roster, provide support, et cetera, et cetera. That was kind of where I came into the mix. So in terms of expectations, I didn't really have a ton. I didn't really expect myself to start compared to some of the other names on the team. So that also just ended up being not true because I played a game week one because Cyan had to step out for personal matters. But yeah, I came in with kind of low expectations, just like get myself in the team tour environment. This isn't my first team tour, my isn't my first rodeo, so I'm a little bit experienced, but just kind of gain some more acumen with like how RU handles these types of things. Look at how RUPL is kind of shaping out as a tour. Um, and, sub in and play some fun games if I can. But in terms of that, I think I mean I about hit the expectations. I mean I played 4 games this season, which was more than I would have thought. I went 1-3 in those, which is tough, but happens. Um, yeah, I mean coming in with like kind of really low expectations and having anything happen, I think is decent, pretty good.
Yeah, you did go up against some experienced players. So, since this was your first RUPL, how do you feel about it as a whole?
Yeah, I thought the experience was great. Both being part of a team and then also like kind of all the stuff I was doing outside of being part of the team first. Like doing the recap videos and stuff every week, doing being part of like the organizational team for the manager spotlights and then the player spotlights now. Uh, all of that has been like quite dope. Um, and of course, being part of the team was also very fun. Again, not the first team I've been a part of, but uh, it's definitely like a cool experience because you get to have some firsthand experience with some of the more experienced names in the tier. Like Master Chief, for example, he was the guy who I got to know a lot better. I think throughout this tournament experience, he had come fresh off of winning RULT, which I had also been a part of. So that was cool. Just getting to know a lot of these kind of more well-established people in like a tournament setting.
Hmm. So that is all the questions we have. Is there anything you would like to say?
Yeah, I think as we're kind of wrapping up these sets of manager, or I'm sorry, not manager, of player spotlights, player interviews, um, shout outs to you all as part of helping out, interviewing, taking time out of your day, sitting down and doing these. I think they've gone wonderfully, and I've enjoyed watching all of them myself. So I just want to do a quick shout out for y'all. Quick shout out to the Fisters, Go team. I know the season didn't pan out as any of us really imagined. Um, we did not go winless though. We did technically quote unquote win that last week, and I'll take that. Um, but yeah, shout out to the Fisters. It was a great team, even if the expectations for the season didn't, fully pan out. But I still think it was a decent season. And hopefully looking forward to making an appearance next year with any luck. Yeah, I think that's it. That's about it for me.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this interview.
Bye.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh no, I just said fire.
Oh,
Yeah, good job.
okay. Nope, that's good. And I believe this will be our final player spotlight. So thank you to everyone watching, and we hope to see you in the future for whatever our YouTube does next. Goodbye.